Darjil Learning Hub welcomes you all. In today's episode, we are going to study about the semi-empirical mass formula, which was derived by Weizsäcker. So these are the area by which we are going to study about the semi-empirical mass formula. It was introduced by Weizsäcker. The dependence of B by A on A is captured by this semi-empirical mass formula. That is, binding energy per nucleon and the mass number of நியூக்ளியஸுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி எவ்வாறு வேறுபடுகிறது என்பதை குறித்து இந்த வைசாக்கர் செமி எம்பரிக்கல் மாஸ் ஃபார்முலாவில் பார்க்குறோம். It is based on the first principle that a model for the nuclear force and on experimental evidences to find out the exact parameters to define it. And in the so-called liquid drop model, we imagine that all nucleons are uniformly distributed inside the nucleus and they are bound by the nuclear force, while the Coulombic repulsive force causes repulsion among the protons. Liquid drop model நம்ம இப்படி பார்த்துருக்கிறோம். அதனுடைய அடிப்படையில் இந்த Weizsäcker proposed this formula, and also he considered the nuclear force, which is a short range force. இதை quantum mechanical aspectலையும் திங்க் பண்ணுவதற்காக இந்த Weizsäcker இந்த ஃபார்முலாவை கொடுத்துருக்கிறாரு. நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் ஏற்கனவே பைண்டிங் எனர்ஜி கர்வ் பற்றி நமக்கு தெரியும். This is the binding energy curve. This curve illustrates the relation between the binding energy per nucleon versus the mass number of the nucleons. At low mass numbers, the binding energy per nucleon increases very sharply, and around 56 it reaches a saturation value. Thereafter it decreases at higher mass numbers. Why it happens? Why the binding energy decreases at high mass numbers, and why it is stable, and why it increases very sharply at low mass numbers? All this could be explained by Weizsäcker's semi-empirical mass formula. Further, first and foremost, the binding energy is related to the volume term. That is, each nucleon has a binding energy which binds it to the nucleus. Therefore, the binding energy is proportional to volume. Therefore, this is called the volume term. This volume is proportional to A, the mass number of the nucleus. Therefore, V must be proportional to the mass number A. Taking the proportionality and putting a constant where A is a small constant, volume term constant, therefore EV must be equal to A into capital A. This term reflects that the binding energy is a short range one, or the nuclear force is a short range one. That is, if you see this figure, this nucleon will interact only with its nearest neighbors, and all the other nucleons are not interacting with this nucleon. Therefore, this is a very short range force. If the nucleon interacted with all the other nucleons, then it should be proportional to A into A minus 1. But we have taken it to be A alone. That's why we come to the conclusion that it is interacting with its nearest neighbor. So this should be the binding energy of the nucleus. But due to the surface nucleons, there will be a decrease in the binding energy. In the liquid drop model, we imagine that the nucleons on the surface of the liquid drop would interact only with the few of its nearest neighbors. On the other side, there will be no nucleons. Therefore, the binding energy is proportional to the surface area, the number of nucleons residing on the surface. Therefore, the binding energy gets reduced. How much amount this will be reduced will be given by the proportional to the surface area 4 pi r square. Therefore, it will be equal to 4 pi. Instead of r, you can substitute r0 into a to the power of 1 by 3. Substituting all these things, it will be equal to Es will be equal to minus b in the a to the power of 2 by 3. So this binding energy will be more significant for lighter nuclei because greater number of nucleons will be residing on the surface of the nucleus. And the third term which reduces the binding energy is also the Coulomb term. Coulomb termum and the binding energy குறைக்கிறதுக்கு இது பண்ணுது. எப்படி அப்படின்னு சொன்னா protons are repelling with one another. Therefore, it reduces the binding energy of the nucleus. The binding energy is also reduced because this electromagnetic force is a long range force. Even though this red color proton is residing inside, it can interact even with other protons which is also very far away because it is acting as a long range force. Therefore, since we have Z into Z minus 1 by 1 divided by 2 pairs of proton inside the nucleus, the Coulomb force will be proportional to Z into Z minus 1 divided by 2, and the potential energy, Coulomb's potential is V will be equal to minus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r. Substituting the value of r equal to r0 into a to the power of 1 by 3, we find it out as EC. The Coulomb term will be minus C into Z into Z minus 1 divided by a to the power of 1 by 3. Another term which reduces the binding energy is due to the lack of symmetry between Z and N. When N equal to Z, there will be maximum stability. Any deviation from this introduces an asymmetry N minus Z, and it decreases the stability of the nucleus, and the nuclei with a different number of protons and neutrons decreases the binding energy. Therefore, it should be proportional to N minus Z the whole square. The spacing between the energy level is inversely proportional to the volume of the nucleus, and this can be seen by treating the nucleus as a three-dimensional potential well. Therefore, it will be inversely proportional to A. Therefore, we get this term of asymmetry term like this. And final term, either it will be added up with the binding energy, sometimes it will be subtracted from the binding energy. Two protons and two neutrons bind more strongly than one proton and one neutron, and that is the case of pairing. In order to account for this experimentally observed phenomena, we add a term to the binding energy if the number of protons and the number of neutrons are both even. We subtract the same term if these are both odd, and we do nothing if one is odd, another one is even. Bohr and Mortensen showed that this term was inversely proportional to the square root of the atomic mass number, and it is given by this term. Therefore, combining all these things, Weizsäcker derived the expression for the binding energy like this. The first term is positive in nature, volume term, and the rest of the terms are reducing its binding energy, and the final term either it adds or subtracts depending upon the pairing. From fitting the measured values to the nuclear binding energies, the values of the parameters have been calculated like this. So this formula gives you the semi-empirical mass formula, and it was derived by Weizsäcker. It gives you about it beautifully explains the binding energy curve, which we have already seen. So hope this would be very useful to you, my dear students. And this graph represents the binding energy term. First term is the volume energy term, and this is the Coulomb term equation, this is the surface term. Combining all these things, we get the graph as shown here. And hope this will be very useful and you would have understood. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள். இதே மாதிரி நிறைய வீடியோஸ் பார்க்கணுன்னா டார்ஜில் லேர்னிங் ஹப்பை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள். மறக்காமல் அந்த பெல் ஐக்கானையும் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்கள். தேங்க்யூ.